What's going on? Matt Morris, leadwithmatt.com. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Today we're going to talk about the two biggest missing elements for you to go out and crush it in your business. So I'm going to go into that in a bit. Before I do, let me know where you guys are tuning in from as you join in the comments below. Give me your city, state, country. If you're watching this live, drop me a live in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, drop me a replay. And if you're seeing me for the first time, drop me a number one in the comments so I can welcome you. And if you do share this, let me know you shared it in the comments so I can give you a shout out. So let's talk about crushing it in your business. Here is the first element that I think most people are missing. And the first element that's missing from you is fire, excitement. See, here's what I learned years and years ago is people are not motivated by the depth of your logic. They're motivated by you being able to stir something up inside them. So, primary buying emotion is emotion. Okay, it's not logic. And the challenge for me was I spent so long thinking of all the logical reasons why my network marketing company or my products in my network marketing company were going to be of huge value to someone else. And there's nothing wrong with logic. People buy primarily based on emotion. They back it up with logic. So yes, you need to have some logic in your presentation. You need to have some logic if you're talking about your products and services. You know, your business, the system that you follow, it's okay to have that. But if your primary is logic, listen, you are going to struggle for a long period of time. You're going to be like I was, banging your head against a wall for 5 long and painful years, wondering why the hell can I not get my business going? It's because I was always in my head. And when you can get out of your head and come from your heart and get excited, truly passionate about what you're doing, you're going to find that people are drawn to that. See, they're not drawn to logic. If you look at the great leaders of the world, it wasn't because they wowed people with their logic. It was because they wowed people with their emotion, with their passion, with their faith, with promoting a vision that was much bigger than what most people were used to talking about. And so you could call this ignorance on fire. I will tell you, ignorance on fire is 1,000,000 times better than knowledge on ice. If I had to take someone who was brand new to my company and knew almost nothing, I mean, barely knew the name of the company, but they were absolutely on fire, willing to go take massive action, versus someone who had been in my company for the last 5 years, had memorized the policies and procedures, knew the compensation plan up and down, knew the product up and down, but they approach people with a logical manner, being calm, cool, and collected. Guess who I'm going to take? I'm going to take the brand new idiot over the genius every time, every single time. Why? Because people are moved based on emotion. So you read a book by Daniel Goleman. It's called Primal Leadership. I will admit I've only read about the first third of the book because it gets overly analytical and I start tuning out and I say I'll come back to the book later. And I've read the first third of the book about 3 times now, and I've never come back and read the rest of it. But what it says is that great leaders have the ability to transfer emotion to other people. Great leaders have the ability to transfer emotion to other people. Now, what that means, if you look at the contrary, so if we know great leaders transfer emotion, what do bad leaders do? They don't transfer any emotion. If you're a bad leader, you transfer no emotion. So you've got to get more excited than more logical. What you're missing in your business is fire. You're missing the excitement. People aren't feeling your message. And if people don't feel your message, they don't take heart to it, and it's in one ear and out the other. Listen, we are bombarded with data coming in, with messages coming in. I mean, we're on our phone. The average person unlocks their phone something like 100 times a day, over 100 times a day is, I believe, the last one that I saw. 100 times a day. They're looking at Facebook. They're going to Instagram 84 times. They're going to Facebook 73 times. They're looking at Snapchat. They're looking at Twitter. They got text messages coming in. See, we're bombarded with all this information. So what is it about you that's going to allow you to stand out above all of the noise? Well, you've got to have some fire. If you have no fire, you just blend in. You're average and people don't pay attention. They don't listen. So hopefully you understand fire is a missing element for most people in their business. I'll give you an example. Years and years ago, I was involved in a network marketing company. I had a guy join my team. He signed up. It was in depth. He signs up. And his first night sponsored 18 people. 18 his first night. How did he do it? He heard about the company in the afternoon. He got excited. He didn't know what to do. So he called a bunch of people and said, hey, I need you to be at my house at 7 o'clock tonight. It's important. And he hung up on them. That was his invite. Now, I'm not telling you to do that invite. This is what he did. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say. So he said, be at my house tonight. It's important. And he hung up. He had 26 out of 26 show up at his house. 18 enrolled his first night. He barely knew the name of the company. He didn't understand how everything worked. He didn't know how the compensation plan works, but he was on fire. And because he was on fire, he attracted a ton of people. It amazes me over the last 24 years, building an organization that's grown to over 1 million customers around the world, lots and lots of people who've achieved financial freedom. It amazes me that there are so many incredibly brilliant people who get involved and they try and try and try and try and they can't make it work. And when you look at them, there's no fire. And then you got an idiot, no offense, but to these people, but you got people who are not very smart. I shouldn't call them an idiot, but they're an idiot. They don't understand jack shit. And they go out and they crush it. They build a big business. Now, you need to know how your compensation plan works. You need to know how your product works. I'm not saying don't learn all that. I'm saying don't wait to go take massive action. I'm saying you don't need all of those to get it stirred up. So the first thing you're missing is fire. Second thing, biggest element missing for most people, it's fire and certainty. See, if you have no certainty, you can't expect other people to follow you. See, there's a rule in leadership that says leaders will only follow other leaders that they perceive are at a higher level leadership than themselves. And one of the biggest elements of leadership is certainty and confidence. So if you don't have certainty in yourself, you cannot expect anyone else to have certainty in you as well. If you don't have absolute certainty in your company, you can't expect anyone else to have any amount of certainty. If you don't have total certainty in your product, you can't expect anyone else to have any amount of certainty in your product. If you don't have certainty in the person that you're showing your business to, you can't expect them to have certainty about themselves. So this is something that people follow. They follow certainty. They follow leadership. You got to have certainty in you. Certainty in your product, certainty in the company, certainty in the person that you're showing it to. So you need certainty in all of those things, and it takes just as much energy to be certain as it does to be uncertain. Now, I'm not saying fake it till you make it. Okay, if you don't have certainty in your product, maybe you should either not be selling your product or get the certainty. If you don't have certainty in yourself, that's probably the biggest area where you need to fake it. You got to tell yourself that you are certain you're going to win. I'll tell you the reason why I hit the top rank in my company when I joined my current company was because I had absolute certainty. There was zero doubt, not an ounce of doubt that I would hit the top rank. There wasn't an ounce of doubt that I would help many other people hit the top rank. And so when I sat down with someone and I'm able to share with them with total certainty, they feel that certainty. Again, I said great leaders have the ability to transfer emotion. So you need to transfer fire, but you also need to transfer certainty. Okay. I had a guy join my team a few years ago. And this, have you ever had someone who is just over the top hypey? You're like, ooh, God, you're too much. Well, this guy was too much. I mean, just bouncing off the freaking wall. I'm not saying you got to bounce off the wall. This guy was bouncing off the wall, and we're meeting with prospects because he's not shy at all. He's loading them up, loading them up, loading them up. And I feel weird I'm certain I'm on fire, but this guy is like a whole nother level. He's cheesy. He's so certain. Cheesy. He's so on fire. It's like almost like a turnoff for me. And here was the weird thing. I was feeling uncomfortable because of his hype, and the people that he was showing it to, they got excited. He was enrolling more than he was not enrolling. I mean, he was enrolling a lot of people. Was it because he didn't know hardly any, he was brand new, hardly knew anything. And he was just like crazy excited, and people followed him because he was crazy excited. Now, you're going to have to back up that certainty and excitement with some knowledge. You're going to have to get some product knowledge, get some knowledge on the compensation plan. You need to get all that. But the bottom line is, for me, that was an incredible lesson that ignorance on fire is 1,000,000 times better than knowledge on ice. I remember, I'll go back again, years and years ago. This was almost 20 years ago. I call my buddy. We'll call him John. I called John, and I'm pitching John, and I had all of the logical points about my company and why he should join, why it was so great. So I call him, and I'm going through all that, and he's like, I don't think it's right for me. Cool. On to the next one. Just how it works. Not everyone's going to say yes, so I'll move on to the next one. I wasn't overly sad about it. Just is what it was. So then I enrolled this guy, Dave. Now, Dave is ignorance on fire. Certainty, excitement, like over the top. I enrolled Dave, and Dave's, we're going to call this person and this person. We start doing three-way phone calls. He says, let's call John. I go, I already called John. And Dave didn't care. He's like, well, let's call him again. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I've already called John. I don't want to beat him up. It's weird. He's already rejected me. I don't want to go chase people and all this. So anyway, we call John. And Dave gets on the phone, and Dave starts sharing his excitement, how big it's going to be, and how much we're going to travel around the world, just on fire. No logic at all. I knew all about the company. He knew nothing about the company. He was brand new. John goes, wow, I didn't realize it was like this. I'm in. I'm like, oh my God, I shared with him so much knowledge. I gave him all of this brilliant stuff, and he didn't join. Dave calls him with nothing but fire and certainty and excitement, and he freaking joins. So what's the lesson? You need fire and certainty. Get on fire, and people will come from miles away to watch you burn. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, if you share this, let me know you shared it in the comments below. Let me know what you got out of this in the comments. Contribute to the community here. And if you want some advanced training on leadership, feel free to hop over to leadwithmatt.com, and you'll get some strategies on becoming a powerful leader, attracting powerful leaders. Thank you guys so much for all the comments. I appreciate it so much. I read every single one as I go back and review the video. So I will definitely see your comments. Thanks so much, guys. Go make life an adventure.